December 11th. This was a long dream. It was a really long dream. So in the first scene, from what I can remember, I'm in this large house, but it's a huge house, and there's this like almost like a barn, but it's furnished, but it's open, and there's different like mini scenes, and I'm there's this mirroring going on in the sky, like the top part of the house. There's this mirroring effect where it's as above so below type of feeling of there's just this mirroring effect going on, but it's full of mysticism. Like there's this knowing, this awareness that there's this mysticism in this house, and it's huge, and it didn't feel like it was just one house. It almost felt like this was the world in this house. But there's this awareness that there's like this mystical feeling to this space. And my sister's there, and she's afraid, but she's there, like she's in it. She's in the house with me, and she's afraid. And I'm like the translator. There's this feeling of like I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of the mysticism. I'm not afraid of the unknown, really, in this house. At least what's going on in the background. So there's this feeling of like I'm comfortable with it, and I'm translating. Like there's this element of me translating information. And my sister's there, and she's afraid of this world. Like she's already told me, like, she has certain gifts. She's afraid of them. And but I'm helping her feel at ease. She has a lot of anxiety, so I'm helping her feel at ease with the information. Like I'm just translating it in a way that's, don't worry, it's okay. And there's a lot of other stuff going on. There's another scene about a jacket. There's this scene about a jacket. You know what it reminded me of? The antique store. Like there's this element of different I mean, if you've ever been to an antique shop or some small shops, sometimes they rent out spaces. This one was open in the sense that there's no no walls in between each space, but it was clear that the different spaces were individualized, kind of. Like it wasn't, the walls were down. The walls were down. But they were still separate. They were still separate. So I knew, so like my sister was in one space. And I would, the thing, I would be the one kind of going between all of these spaces, all of these compartments. I was the one kind of navigating through each of them. But there's this one scene that stands out. There's this cat. There's this cat. And this cat is afraid. And someone catches the cat to try to bring it inside. And they catch this cat in a bag. Like, the fear of the cat is that it will be trapped, that it'll get stuck. And someone catches the cat, but puts the cat in a bag, and the poor cat pees on himself. And I'm telling whoever caught this cat to let it go. So I actually helped the cat. I help release the cat outside. And there's this element of like, let him go, let him go. Like this knowing that if you force the cat to come in, like that's, no, to not force the cat to come in. And so I instruct whoever caught him to let him go outside, just to let the cat go. And the poor cat's afraid, but he's outside in the garden, and he stays there. And I go back inside. I know it is. And the scene changes. The scene changes. And I'm in college / work life. College/work life. But more college. There's so college and work are intertwined on campus. So there's this feeling, again, there's different settings that I'm interacting with, and some are work related and some are college. And I'm wondering if it's because I mean, I spoke to one of the professors yesterday from the program, and I hope I didn't come off as like really cocky. I mean, I was just sharing like what my background was, and it wasn't until I said it out loud. I mean, I know I typed it in for her, but once I started saying it out loud, I was like, oh dang, I've done a lot. And not realizing, like, even in the last 14 years, doing this line of work, I was like, wow, it's 14 years that I've done it. Like, I didn't, like, saying it out loud, I was like, whoa. You know, because when you're just in it, you're working like a workhorse, right? That you don't realize how much time has passed. And I was kind of sharing with her just this progression that I worked so like closely with students in different roles, different capacities. But then over the last few years, I've been distancing myself from directly working directly with him, because I took on more of the assessor role. So now it wasn't so much that I was providing direct service, but as an assessor, not as a treatment provider. And then from the assessor, working with residential, and then working with the special special education director. So I was more of a liaison, in terms of residential assessing and the linkage. So I did a little bit of case management with the residential facilities in state and out of state. And then I became a supervisor. So I was more and more detached from working directly with the students. So I was explaining to her, like, I want to come back. I want to be in the classrooms, is what I mentioned to her. And then she's just like telling me, I have a lot of clinic experience, and letting me know, who I was going to be interacting with. A lot of these are college students. And I mean, I remember that. I remember what that was like. And kind of like encouraging me, I still encourage you to take the courses. This is what it would look like. So I won't be in the classrooms until the second semester, which I'm fine with, totally fine with. I mean, I was looking at the coursework, and only one course really stands out that I know I've taken. And then she said, if you're wanting to actually get the certificate, we can look at your transcripts, your classes. I said, okay. But those required courses, she was encouraging me to, and I knew I was going to take them because I was looking at them. I'm like, oh, they sound so interesting. Like, this is a world that I'm really not familiar with. I mean, by experience and practice, I have the awareness, but this is different. This is information, right? Updated information. And I told her, I was like, I'll take the courses that I need to take to make sure that I honor the mission, and the purpose of this program, to communicate, that whatever the mission is, whatever is wanting to be communicated through the program, I want to honor that, right? Clearly. So I need to be informed, and I'm like, I don't mind taking the courses. I love learning. I learn from my clients all the time. So I'm already looking at how I'm going to rearrange my schedule to take these 2 courses next semester. And she confirmed that because I live in San Francisco, it would be free. So I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So I'm looking forward to it. What I didn't share was I really don't follow the news. I don't follow politics. I usually don't, right? Because of, you can get stuck there. You can get stuck on looking at what's not working. But I know it's important, and I always find someone will tell me the information. My cousin ended up telling me a little bit of what she was explained to me over the phone. I was grateful for that. Because I'm going back in, I need to have a little more awareness of what they're struggling with, what they're wanting, so that I guess there's a period of transition right now that's occurring with what the students are needing in terms of the types of supports and the level of support. And there's tension in the schools here because of how things are being handled. So I'm excited to get to learn. Why I'm sharing this, because in my dream I'm on this college campus, and I'm comfortable, totally comfortable, going from the different settings. But the scene that stands out the most is the kitchen. There's a cafe, and it's like I know the people that I'm going to stand in line with, but I'm cutting the line. And the people behind the scenes like in the kitchen aren't happy about that. Like they're not happy, and they're ignoring me. They're ignoring me to a certain degree, and I'm making myself known. And the thing that trips me out is that I had so much confidence in my dream. I had so much confidence in my dream, and there's this element of like, no, you're gonna see me. In my dream, I'm like, you're gonna see me. I'm going to make myself known. There's this determination in my dream that I'm gonna make myself known. And so I end up, like, aside from cutting the line, I end up jumping over the you know, with the cafe, there's like the counter and like, and then it's the kitchen in the background. I end up jumping over, but they're letting me do what I want. Jumping over into the kitchen, like I'm going into the kitchen part to see how is everything being run. But I wasn't like really intervening. I was just looking. Like, how are things going? Right? There's this element of I just want to see behind the scenes, right? And I see one of my old coworkers there. It was nice to see a familiar face. I just remember that feeling, that it was nice to see a familiar face, and she's cooking and she's making the steaks, and I'm not saying anything. I'm just watching. Like, I'm just watching things unfold. You know, like I'm not taking over. No, I'm letting them do their thing. But I just wanted to see. There's this element of like, I want to see what's behind the scenes. But at the same time, like, there's this element of like, I can help, but I'm not meddling. I want to see. And then I leave, and I'm going to other parts of the campus, but there's this feeling of like, I'm working at the same time. And there's all these individuals that are crossing my path, and what surprises me is that I'm so confident. That's what surprised me. I'm like, oh dang. I am so confident. And but there is this feeling like, not everybody on campus, but every other person on campus, there's this feeling of like there's not intimidated, like that feeling, you know, like when you know someone doesn't like you. And it's not everybody, it's every other person. There's this element, like, it's jealousy, right? Like, there's this element of like, they don't like you. Because I'm jumping the line, because of what I know. And so not everybody, but, and the thing is, I don't care. In my dream, I don't care. I'm doing what I need to do. There's just that feeling, like I'm doing what I need to do. So with some interactions with other people, there's this same feeling with work, almost. Where there's this element of they're trying to control me. They're trying to control me, but I'm not letting it. I'm standing up for myself, and I'm like, no. So there's this slight tension with that, but I'm defending myself. So there's just this overall theme of confidence. one of the last scenes. That I'm a little stuck on is I've recently reconnected with an old friend, and I was a little worried. Because he's made certain comments, and there's this feeling of like worry that he might want something more, and I don't feel the same way. But in my dream, I'm like I'm wanting it. In my dream, I'm kind of wanting that with him. And he's helping me with my internet. I mentioned that I'm struggling with my internet connection. And he's guiding me, like he's helping me. He's telling me, we gotta do it this way. Like you gotta check each room. Like he's giving me direction. And I'm listening. I'm like, okay. And it felt like I was a little tutru. But he was giving me direction, and I was listening. But in my dream, we're hugging, there's this element of like more than friends almost. But at the same time, there's this uneasiness. Like uneasiness in the sense of just I'm not like there's a like in my dream I'm wanting it. In my dream I'm wanting it, but at the same time, like it's like half. Like there's this feeling of like half of me is wanting it, and then the other half is like I don't know. But I woke up in that. I think that just really mostly because I don't feel that way right now. I don't feel that way right now about him. If anything, I was just more worried. I'm like, I hope he doesn't think that. I hope he doesn't want that, because I don't think I want that. I don't feel like that towards him. I don't. But in my dream, it's different. I'm just a little worried about that. So I just wanted to record that because there was all of those scenes, and it was a little different. There's more to it, like work related and jackets. Like I'm trying to get my jacket, and someone else is wearing it, and so there's this element, and it's work related. So it's just there's this element of like, you know, there's this element of making sure that I'm known. But other people are like wearing my jacket or wearing my jacket and stuff, and I'm letting them, like, there's this element of like, okay, you want to wear my jacket, wear it. And there's this element of like, then stay on your side, right? Like this feeling of like, again, this element of like wanting to be controlled by other people, but I'm really like, no, you can't. Like there's more, I felt more confident in this dream compared to other dreams. Like I could feel the confidence. And this like I'm practicing standing my ground almost. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what that means. Alright, I have an early client. And let me get ready. Hi, my name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us, in whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth. This just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. And that really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else comes next for me.